After 3,000 hours playtime, I've discovered the right way to explore in Satisfactory. There are many ways to spend your time in this game, creating mini blueprint factories, organizing logistic floors, or even maths. But another great way to sink some hours in Satisfactory is by exploring. This can easily be one of the best ways to relax, decompress, or time waste as you're waiting for your resources to be crafted. Another advantage is that it can be really beneficial since there are many items to steal borrow for your own personal gain. Heck, even Ada appreciates it. However, you might not enjoy exploring, and that's completely fine. One reason for that could be because you're doing it wrong. So today I share my top tips and recommendations for exploring in Satisfactory, and also how to have fun whilst doing it. Weapon choice is hugely important when exploring. My go-to is the explosive rebar round paired with the Xeno Basher. The Xeno Basher is self-explanatory. It's a fantastic close-quarter combat weapon that offers a fast attack and decent damage, especially against the easier to kill hostile creatures. It's also rather good against the lizard doggos, but don't ask me how I know. So why exactly do I recommend the explosive rebar rounds? Well, explosive rounds don't just do a lot of damage to targets at close, medium, or far distances, but it also destroys certain objects around the world, such as the gas trees or gas pillars, as you can currently see me doing. It can also destroy boulders and those little cave crack thingies. They're also great at destroying those miniature white domes that can occasionally surround power slugs, and is fantastic at destroying vegetation. Damage also spreads to nearby targets too, offering up opportunities to get collaterals. These are the two weapons I recommend. Nobelisks are also good, especially early game when you can't afford explosive rebar ammunition, since it's not necessarily the easiest thing to make. Regarding your kits, what you wear might be the most important recommendation I give today. I 100% suggest bringing a jetpack. You can use quite a lot of fuel for it too, which is great. I suggest turning your solid biofuel into packaged liquid biofuel. I use this myself and it's super easy to make. Just get your biomass from trees, turn it into biofuel, add some water in the refinery, package it, and Bob's your uncle. However, since we're on the topic of the jetpack, would you guys be interested in a video where I analyze every fuel type for the jetpack and factually try and find out which one's best? If so, do comment down below because I'm planning on making quite a lot more tutorials and guides for Satisfactory. So, other than the jetpack, I also very highly recommend the Blade Runners. With these, you can jump double the heights that you would normally be capable of. Additionally, you can also run 50% faster. It's also cheap to make, and you take less fall damage too, which is fantastic. 100% recommend taking both of these items whilst exploring. You'll enjoy it a lot more, especially when you're in an area such as the Spire Coast, which is great for collecting slugs, but the terrain can be rather difficult to traverse. Third item of note is myself. What else are you going to take? Well, starting with health regeneration items, I recommend anything, particularly the bacon, since it restores 2 health bars per 1 bacon consumed. Berries restore 1 bar, and the nuts restore half a bar. It goes without saying that the gas mask, inhaler, and hazmat suit are also fantastic options as well. So if you have the slots available, they're definitely decent to make. I also highly recommend at least 2 stacks of concrete. This will help when you're trying to ascend a cliff, which is great because it manages to save you a little bit of fuel. A lot of what we've discussed has been about how to avoid hostiles or how to easily kill them, but you know what's even easier? Disabling hostile enemies from attacking you entirely. And to do that, open up your settings bar by pressing escape on your keyboard. Then hop on over to the options tab, go up to gameplay, and then you should see something here called creature hostility. If not, just type it up here to the search bar, and then it should hopefully come up instantly. Now, I've got mine set to passive, which is how I've been able to capture a lot of these shots today. This means that creatures will not attack players or retaliate when attacked by players, essentially meaning that you can hit them as many times as you want, and they won't hit you back. Now, default is what your game will automatically be set to. Essentially, if an enemy sees you, it's going to try to kill you. And lastly, we've got retaliate, which at the time of recording is actually currently bugged. But what should happen here is that if you're the first one to engage the fight, then they are going to engage you back. If you don't engage the fight, they will not try to attack you. But again, if you want to turn that off, passive is the mode for you, and you never have to worry about creatures ever again. Now let's move to something which I don't see enough people fully utilizing, and I don't know why, because this is hugely important, and that is dimensional depots. This vital piece of kit is a must-have when exploring. There's few things worse in Satisfactory than exploring a few crash sites, realizing your inventory's full, then having to make the tough choice of either having to leave items behind or going back to your starter factory to then drop off the items and return back. This will end up creating a ton more room, which is fantastic. This is how you can get your dimensional depot. So head over to your map, then go up to the alien technology tree. You will then be greeted by something that looks just like this. However, because I'm halfway through mine and it's a bit confusing if you've never seen this before, I'm not going to use this as an example. Nothing on the right side is too important, but what is important is the Mercer spheres and SAM fluctuators. You need both of these items here to then unlock the dimensional depot, which is absolutely fantastic. We are then met with 3 different types of upgrades. Upgrade in speed, upgrade in stacks, and then this one right here that allows you to upload items from your inventory into the dimensional depot, and it's absolutely amazing. Something to note though about all of these upgrades is that every single one of them is going to cost you SAM fluctuators, so I do fully recommend automating that. But again, if you were to get any 3 of these for exploring, I would at least recommend the manual depot uploader since it is absolutely fantastic, but all of these upgrades are equally as good. I suppose one negative thing about the dimensional depots is that sometimes it can take a while to unlock because you have to wait until you get those SAM fluctuators. So why not use something that's completely free and you can unlock almost instantly? That is right, it's the map. When out for a jolly, it's easy to get sidetracked. You start in the grass fields, you take a sharp right, travel east, and now you're in Poland. This mistake has happened before, but there's ways to avoid this. Personally, I like to fully explore one biome at a time, making sure that I've got all the items available. After collecting the Mercer spheres, summer sloops, and whatever else takes your fancy, then move on to the next biome. This way, it almost feels like you're unlocking a new part of the map. But how do you know when you've found all the items in a certain area? Well, that's where tip number 7 comes into play. Radars. Radars are amazing. In fact, I like them so much that I made a whole video about them where I go into much further depth, but essentially, I am able to see how many items are in a certain part of the map. I then make sure all the items I want are gone, and then I move on to the next radar tower. Simple. Additionally, you need to connect all your radar towers to a power grid, and because of how many radar towers you end up placing down, it means that if you ever need power, there'll always be a power pole nearby. This is something that I tend to do before exploring towards the mid or late game. This can help massively though, since a few crash sites, one of the most important items to loot when exploring, may require power, and you don't want to be dragging a power line miles through harsh terrain just to gather one hard drive. Luckily though, I have yet another tip that solves this problem. Biomass burners. That is right, biomass burners are unlocked towards the very beginning of the game. They're cheap and reliable. Despite only producing 30 megawatts, you can place down a few of them on your travels and never have to worry about dragging power from your starter factory again. There is also a setting where you get unlimited power, but the majority of players play without it. So if you have the storage space in your inventory, it's a great asset. And speaking about extra storage, that's right, the segue never stops, we have our 9th tip. Extra storage. You can unlock extra storage from scanning hard drives, unlocking milestones in the hub, as well as 2 inventory upgrades from your MAM. The first of which could be located in the alien organism tree, and the second in your sulfur tab, but granted this will take a while to unlock. But hey, that's an additional 12 item slots. Those are my 9 tips on how to have more fun whilst exploring. If this video was helpful in any way, do comment down below, and don't forget to drop a like rating. All support is greatly appreciated, and of course, if there's anything I've missed, don't forget to drop that in the comments as well. Regardless, thank you very much for watching. Loads more tips and tricks to come out soon, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Have an amazing rest of your day, and remember, Godspeed and goodbye.